Welcome NGDL fans to week 8 of the NGDL3, and yeah, with the Miami Dolphins, we are flying high at 6-1, and our opponent this week is the Detroit Sky Attacks, and originally this was Untraceablestrain's team, a longtime friend of the channel, and yeah, he's a really cool guy, and a guy that I never beat in the NGDL before, but actually he had to give up the team because he was traveling. He's a really busy guy, and I just didn't feel right taking him on the team because he wasn't going to be able to do it for a few weeks. So he said that he wanted to give up the team, and which really kind of sucks, because I was really looking forward to battling him, because he's a really awesome guy, and I really wanted to actually win for once in the NGDL. But Alice Chan, 89, is actually going to be taking over the team now. Now, she fought in the last week's battle against the Montreal Triadlanders, actually gave Joey Fontaine his first win. But from what I remember of Alice, because we have battled a couple times in the past, she is a very good battler. I guess she just has to, well, the challenge with, taking over a team is using Pokemon that you didn't necessarily choose. So it's going to be interesting to see if she can bounce back against me here. She is actually just one game out from that red division, which is the other division, our conference. As you can see, I didn't make any transactions this week. But actually, the Detroit has a very, very interesting roster, and it's going to be a roster that's going to be hard for me to counter. It probably does advantage me a little bit that Alice is a bit unfamiliar with the roster. She did get an opportunity to actually make her first transaction right before me. She actually ended up picking Passimian up, dropping Beware, which was on the roster. You guys actually might recall Passimian as a Pokemon that was on my team at the beginning of the league. I actually ended up dropping it before I even used it, but Passimian might be looking for some revenge here. Well, it's an interesting Pokemon to pick up because Primeape is kind of like a similar Pokemon that fills a similar role. So it's kind of interesting. Like I said, she dropped Beware for it. But the main thing that's going to be problematic for me about this particular team is going to be that Muk and that Landorus, because they make an excellent combination. Landorus, obviously, with the Intimidate becoming a very, very good physically bulky Pokemon, and then you have Muk, who just cannot be hit with special attacks, especially if you sit an Assault Vest on there. So, yeah, it's a very problematic team. And then you just have Zeraora, which outspeeds pretty much everything, except for my Mega Beedrill, unless he brings a Scarf. But thankfully, I do have Mega Beedrill, which is like one of the only Pokemon that can outspeed Zeraora. Yeah, so it's an interesting team. He only has one Fairy, that's Grand Ball. He might bring it because of the Intimidate, and she might bring it. I keep saying he. She might bring it. Due to the Intimidate and being able to bring a Cleric, but I'm kind of banking on she doesn't. I'm gonna go for the Commonium Z. I'm gonna actually remind myself to use a filter if I end up getting it off. But this is actually gonna be a rough match. I really need to be able to wither Muk down. Tornadus is another problem because of how fast it is. For the most part, I have the speed advantage actually in this one, so I'm actually not gonna go Sticky Webs. It's not like a lot of his fast Pokemon aren't even effective. In fact, the only thing that I would really want to, reduce their speed, or that I can with Sticky Webs, is Zeraora. So, it's going to be an interesting match. So, I don't need to bring Sticky Webs. Yeah, I guess I'm going to go ahead and play at the match, and you guys will see shortly, the battle video. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I hope that we can, overcome Alice's, rookie growing pains, and, come out 7-1. Because we still have President Tail still, on my butt in the division. He's, right behind me. So, yeah, there's the teams. She is bringing the Passimian she transacted for. No Tornadus, though, so we wanted to worry about one of those genies. But, yeah, interestingly enough, in pregame, I noticed that Zeraora doesn't have an item, so she either messed up, or, she has Acrobatics. And I'm actually really worried about Acrobatics, because I know we can get it, and I'm like, man, if it has Acrobatics, it can, my Decidueye is no longer a safe switch-in. It's going to be a mess. So I lead with my Heatran. She leads with Landorus. I do have the Air Balloon. I'm just going to go for the Hidden Power Ice, because I figure she's going to try to, set up Stealth Rocks. Or, try to just get rid of my Air Balloon. So I just go for it. She ends up having the Yachi Berry, though, so she gets saved as well. And, yeah, it was a pretty good move for her. And I really don't want to take an Earthquake, so I'm just going to go straight in my Vaporeon, who is my physical wall. And she's just going to go for the U-turn now, which does some minor damage. But that was a good move, obviously, to pivot into the Zeraora. And I'm like, I don't have any safe switch-ins for this. If this thing does indeed have Acrobatics, no, none of my Pokemon are safe. I have no safe switch-in for this at all. And she goes for the sub. I do know I can live one Plasma Fist, because I know she can't be Choice Banded, because she doesn't have an item. I just go for a Wish to see what she would do. And that sub has me really worried now. I can't afford to give this thing a sub. My two Pokemon that do outspeed this, my Mega Beedrill and my Scarf Lele, and I do have a Scarf Decidueye as well, but that doesn't outspeed it. They really need, obviously, they don't want to take a hit from this thing. And she ends up revealing Bulk Up, and I'm like, oh crap. So it's going to be Bulk Up, and then she's going to have the Plasma Fish and Acrobatics. But she ends up revealing the Drain Punch, and I stayed in here knowing that I had like a 75% chance to die. I was hoping that she'd over-predict, and indeed she does actually predict Heatran. And I'm like, okay, that means she doesn't have Acrobatics. I mean, she either doesn't have Acrobatics and she messed up with her item, or she doesn't have Plasma Fist. So I'm like, I'm just going to stay in. I get the burn, which is fantastic, and I'm just going to go ahead and protect to see what she does. If she wants to set the sub again, she's burned, so there's that. And there's the Plasma Fist. So she just messed up. She just messed up and forgot her item. That really does suck for her. She said it meant to be leftovers, which can definitely help with the subs, and yeah, that kind of blows. But at the same time, it ended up being a pretty good smokescreen against me, because I was so terrified of the acrobatics. I almost sacked off my Vaporeon there. But anyway, in comes Passimian. I'm just gonna go back into Vaporeon. She goes into goes for the knockoff. I do that because I know this thing's gonna be scarfed as well, and knockoff will kill my Decidueye, and I do not want that to happen. Unfortunately, it does cost my Vaporeon its leftovers, and she's gonna go into Dogmother here, the Grand Ball. I was actually hoping that she wouldn't bring Grand Ball, because I did bring, like I said, Commonium Z, kommo-o this week. And this thing obviously can come in if she predicts it and cancel it, and I don't even get my boost, so that's not good. And as you can, it's just going to be a Cleric Grand Ball, so she has the Heal Bell. I kind of figured it would be, but at the same time, I can just go for a Scald. I end up critting, which is nice. Yeah, it's going to actually do some reasonable damage, as now she's just going to go ahead and switch into Super Paul, her Slowbro, and I cannot allow this thing to get Calm Minds, because if this thing gets like 2 Calm Minds, it can wall pretty much my whole team. Which is obviously not good. So I'm just going to go to my Decidueye. I do have Grass Knot on here. There's actually a mixed Scarf Decidueye, and I do have Grass Knot specifically for Slowbro, but she ends up going right into Muk, and I'm like, well, crap. I'm going to have to switch out and hope that she doesn't Pursuit, because that would do a lot of damage. But instead, she double switches as well, as I just go for the U-turn, and I'm like, oh, okay, I have no idea why she switched out against Decidueye with Muk, but I guess she's just trying to scout something, trying to reveal something. I'm just going to go my Tapu Lele because I'm a faster Scarfer than this thing is. And I'm just going to go for a Moonblast, even though as soon as I clicked, I'm like, she's just going to go straight into Muk. Because Muk obviously takes, you know, these things for days. And, yeah, I'm like, well, crap. She could probably Pursuit me or jab me. Either way, I mean, I'm not going to die to a single Pursuit, so I'm just going to go into my Heatran. She ended up going for the jab, so that's pretty great because I am immune to that sort of thing. And out goes the Muk again, and this is my perfect opportunity to set up my own Stealth Rocks, which definitely will be useful, withering down her team, especially if I'm trying to go for a kommo-o sweep. I need the Stealth Rock damage on a couple of her Mons, so it's good to get those up. But I am not looking to lose my Heatran, so I'm just going to go straight into Vaporeon, expecting an Earthquake. I know I can take one very well. Actually, I don't really take it that well. I know it's not Bandit or Scarf because it has changed its moves, but it ends up doing a little more than I thought. It did, because like I said, this is a max HP, max defense Vaporeon. It does almost half with that Earthquake. You can really just not underestimate Landorus because it is so powerful. But anyway, I'm just gonna go for a Wish, figuring that she is going to either attack me with the Earthquake again or Volt Switch. And she goes back into Zeraora, and thanks to her for getting the leftovers, she's definitely under 25% looking at that HP bar. So I know that she can't substitute, so it's pretty much a free protect for me to get my Vaporeon back to full, or near full, and just go straight into my Decidueye again, as I know that my Decidueye can completely wall this thing, now that I know she doesn't actually have Acrobatics. She has Drain Punch and Plasma Fist. I resist / am immune, so I know this is like pretty much a perfect switch in, as she just goes right into her Grand Ball again. I would really like to get this thing down so I can set up the Commonium Z with my kommo-o. But I'm just going to go for the U-turn, not knowing what she'd go into, and I'm like, okay, I really would like to get this thing down. I'm going to my B-Drill, and I'm just going to go ahead and Mega Evolve and go for the Poison Jab. The only thing she has, I think, for the Poison Jab is the kommo-o, sorry, not the kommo-o, her Lion-o, which is her Landorus, and it does have the resistance, but, well, obviously the Intimidate as well. But obviously with adaptability, I should do decent damage with the Poison Jab. And I go for it, and we'll see how much it does in a second here as I go for it. And I still haven't seen the item on this Landorus, by the way, so I'm kind of thinking it's a Z-move Landorus, just a side note. Either way, I'm just going to go for the U-turn, and it's been killing it, which I was actually surprised about. I probably could have just went for the second poison jab, looking at that again, but at the time, I guess I just didn't realize. I didn't really observe how much damage it did. I didn't know if another poison jab would kill, but a U-turn does, which is actually a little weaker. So, getting rid of Landorus is huge. But unfortunately, that is going to make me, obviously, reveal first. I reveal Decidueye. He reveals his Passimian. It makes a very good play going for the U-turn. That's an extremely good play, because that lets him go into his Slowbro here against Vaporeon. I really don't want to let this Slowbro get up Calm Minds, but now I'm kind of forced to, because well, I do have Toxic. I could have tried to Toxic it there. But I decided instead to go to my Decidueye, because I really don't want to give this thing, you know, Toxics. And plus he has a Cleric, so... he's just gonna go for the, or she. I keep saying he, because I'm thinking I'm battling Untraceable, because it's his team. No, this is Alice Chan, 89. But anyway, she does set up the Calm Mind. I'm just gonna go for the Grass Knot. I know I should still do good damage. In fact, it does actually hit it down a low yell. That's a 2-hit KO range. And she reveals the Psyshock and ends up killing my Decidueye because I believe I have... no, I actually have a minus special defense nature, but it ends up killing me anyway, so it's like an offensive Slowbro or something. But that's fine, because that allows me to go in my Beedrill. Even though Mega Slowbro has a ton of physical defense, it is not going to take an adaptability-boosted U-turn. Unfortunately, this is going to make me show first again. I go into my Heatran, because I know Slowbro's gone. But, yeah, she can just go into Passimian now, and I really... I mean, I guess looking back on it, I could have went into Tapu Lele here, or even Beedrill, predicting the... I just didn't want to over-predict. I was just going to go for a Flamethrower, hoping that she would over-predict, but instead she plays very well and just goes for the close combat to kill my Heatran. So there you go. In comes Beedrill, though, and out goes Passimian as she goes out into Muk again, and I just go for a Jab, I believe, figuring that Jab should do decent damage to most everything she has left, like this Muk. But then she reveals the Figgy Berry, so I'm like, okay, this is going to be a Gluttony set, maybe Recycle, I don't know. Like, I'm just going to go for the U-turn. It's neutral against this thing. It ends up hitting her back to yellow, and I'm like, okay. I guess I'm going to go to Vaporeon. Maybe I can get, like, the burn with the Scald. And she does have Recycle, so I'm like, okay, so she has Recycle. We've seen Poison Jab. What's going to be other moves? I don't know. But I'm just going to go for the Wish, because Wish is pretty much free at this point. I want to get, obviously, the Wish up so I can heal the following turn, see what she's going to do. And she does go for the Poison Jab, and unfortunately for me, she does get the Poison. So... it's not even like the Poison Hands ability. It's Recycle, or sorry, it's Gluttony. But yeah, so that kind of sucks because without my leftovers and with the poison, now I'm starting to take some residual damage. Actually, a significant amount of residual damage every turn, especially since it takes me 2 turns to heal. This actually really hurts Vaporeon's survivability now. I'm just gonna go for another Wish. I know that she still can't do that much with Poison Jab, so I'm just kind of hoping to maybe get enough HP that I can go for a Scald, which is what I'm actually going to do here. And she thinks I'm going to Protect again, because she actually ends up going for the Curse, and now I'm actually really afraid of this Muk. Like, I'm like looking through my team, oh my gosh, if this thing gets like another Curse, I might be screwed. Like, this thing obviously has great special defense, naturally, you know, and not to mention moves. Its typing is fantastic against all of my special hits. I'm just going to go to kommo-o. This is another mixed Pokemon. This is my Commonium Z. I want to set up Commonium Z. I'm really hoping that she doesn't want to give up her setup and switch out into Granbull, and unfortunately she does. So, excellent play there by Alice, predicting my Commonium Z, I guess, and I'm going to try to do it, but obviously it's not going to work against a Fairy type, and that makes me really sad, because it's fun. But at least I don't have to edit it out, you know? At least I don't have to put up the stupid, you know, screen like I did last time in order to get the video posted on YouTube, because they tend to ban that Z move now, apparently. But, okay, at least I don't have to do that. I have the Flash K. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this dog. Messed up my Commonium Z, but, whatevs. In comes Passimian now, and suddenly this thing's a problem, because it can outspeed a lot of my team. But I'm still worried about that Muk. So I'm going to go to my Vaporeon, and I know that I can't take 2 close combats, and she's probably going to go for it. But I just need to basically sack something at this point. Like I said, I could have predicted close combat, gone into Beedrill or my Tapu Lele, but if she, like, knocks off or, you know, U-turns even, it could be really disastrous, because I cannot afford a Tapu Lele versus Muk matchup, because that's basically a free setup for Muk. But anyway, I'm just going to go into my Beedrill again, and because I know she's locked into close combat after my Vaporeon went down. in comes Zeraora again, I guess as a sack, because I just go for the knockoff. I was actually trying to knock off the Muk's berry before it could trigger. I think that would work. I don't know. Actually, no, probably not, because he probably eats it as soon as she comes in due to the Stealth Rocks. I don't know. Either way, in comes the Passimian again. And, yeah, I'm thinking the only way she's going into this is she has the rock move. And indeed, she does have the rock side, so it's a great prediction for me. At this point, I'm pretty sure I have the match. I do have Earthquake, just going to go for it. I don't have +1, and I am more specially invested than physically on this kommo-o. But I know that without her +1 defense, my Earthquake should be able to 2-hit KO pretty much any Muk. So I'm just going to go for it. And, yeah, she does get the Figgy Berry. But as you can see, it does about half, and I should be able to kill it. And if I don't, I mean, even if she recycles, she's not winning this battle, so, this one-on-one. So, down goes the Muk. Her last Pokemon is the Passimian. And, yeah, obviously, I can just kind of wait to see what she locks herself into. Even if she does kill me with close combat, I have both Tabulele and Beedrill that can come in on that. And, there is the close combat. She doesn't even kill kommo-o due to kommo-o's amazing defense stat. I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Clanging Scales for the win. So, good game, Alice. Wow. Great job. I mean, she's done a really good job. From this battle, I can say that she's done a really great job adapting to that team she's given. She played it very well. But I'm really happy to get the win and go to 7-1. That feels pretty darn nice. She really, she scared me with that Muk late game. Like, cause I felt pretty good about the match, pretty much all the way up, and then that Muk, I was like, oh my god, this thing could kill me. But I already knew Muk was going to be really hard coming in, so. We are 7-1 now, and I believe we have actually Zack Attack coming up. And Zack Attack, is it the San Diego Charger Bugs? I should probably check. San Diego Charger Bugs, is that next, or is it? I should probably have had this ready. No, I have Fat Jesus coming up next. I have the Vatican City, and he is an Uber. It was originally Sausage's team, but he took it over, and he's Marshadow, so we're gonna have to deal with Marshadow again next week, and I think after that we have the San Diego Charger Bugs. But, yeah, so that's that, and today's question of the day is going to be, what is your favorite of the Gen 5 Genie things? So, Braden answer question today, what is your favorite of those three? Obviously, my opponent has, two of the three. She has Tornadus and Landorus. Doesn't have Thundurus. Thundurus, I believe, is on the Cincy Scizors, but, yeah. I don't think I've ever asked the question about this trio specifically. So let's just go ahead and devote this question of the day to those genies. As for me, I really like Tornadus. Just from a design perspective, I always wanted a pure flying type, and I finally got my way with that Tornadus. So that's why I like Tornadus. He's funny looking too. They're all funny looking. Landorus is obviously probably the best one in OU, but honestly, it's like, I don't know. It's overused. I'm sick and tired of Landorus. It's good, obviously, but Thundurus is probably my second favorite. Landorus can kind of be boring, but that's to each their own. But anyway, leave a comment about that, and see you guys again next time. Later.